In the recently just concluded Olympics, there were a couple of issues, or more like challenges, that we noticed as Africans and especially as Kenyans. On this particular one, I'm going to speak from a Kenyan perspective. And that is because a lot of times as Kenyans, we have relied on our born-given skills and abilities to be able to excel in sports. But we're at a time in our lives where that is no longer enough. And as much as our God-given skills have really made sure that we've thrived throughout these years, at this point in time, we need to be able to start advancing in technology. We need to be able to see statistics, data of the players that we are putting out, of the athletes who are going to be representing not just the country in terms of Olympics, but all sports in general. As a sports manager, one of the things that I've had a major difficulty dealing with is when we are looking to represent players. Every player comes and says, I'm a fantastic player. Coaches are coming to say, I have fantastic players. But the moment we request for videos, no one has them. We are at a point in our society where a lot of scouts are no longer traveling to the continent to see players. But now they're relying on technology to be able to assess these players and come with conclusive data that will allow them to ask players to come in either for trials or to be signed up. But players no longer have videos. And why is that? It doesn't make sense how any football team will set up a camp for players. But the one thing that is required to be able to show these players' skills out is missing. We need to be able to start embracing technology. We have fantastic players on the continent. We have great talent, but this talent has to be seen. And with the rise of technology, it is so easy. We have so many apps today that are free. You can video all your games, post them on several apps, and it will be as easy as sharing a link to a scout for him to be able to access you. Technology today has come to make things easier. We are able to watch these games that we love on TV due to tech. We are able to have analysts assess our players and share data that shows us that indeed these players are pretty great. Another way technology has come to advance for our players is through the medicine sector. Right now we are able to assess a player's speed and quality or speed. Is it growing or is it getting better? Or are we able to mark how far they are? We are looking at a situation of Omanyala, fantastic athlete. But do we have the stats that required? We know what number, we know the seconds that he reached for the Olympics. Are we able to use those seconds with data backed up while he's at home training in order to improve his seconds? Yes, we can. And those are some of the few things that we need to be able to put in place. Technology is here and we need to be able to embrace it. What we really need to implement, especially every single football club that has from grassroots level players, is 2 or 3 cameras on the pitch that are able to catch any angle, or even better, just get someone who's dedicated to the team that is able to film every single game. Right now, GoPro cameras are really going for a cheaper price, and this will allow anyone who's coming to just assess the players and say, could you kindly share us more information about this specific player, and we'll be able to do it. We have various professional platforms that players can use to register their own private accounts, but they have to be professional. And for that reason is to make sure that you're visible. Visibility has been one of the things that we require. Now, when it comes to our Premier League players, though most of them still haven't embraced technology, they still need to, because we don't know each and every one of them. I recently had a situation of where I need to represent a particular player in one of our Premier Leagues to a European team. Everything went well, except that one point where he said he doesn't have videos. And the only videos that he had are the ones that are shot with our media teams, our mainstream media, which is always a very short fragment of a particular game. It's not easy to assess the player just from the little highlights that we usually get. At the same time, we're looking at a situation in the country where we barely see any of our local games on our local stations. And that's a different topic for a whole different day in regards to TV rights. But because of these challenges, it's now going to be up to the teams to be able to record their games so that we are able to share them for people who are recruiting. But not only that, we're still emphasizing on the development of sports on the continent. We need to be able to show other scouts who are local from different teams in order for them to be able to see the kind of talent that we currently have in each and every country. I look for a day when we are going to be able to trade players across our own continent. Have a few South Africans play on the Kenyan teams, have some Kenyans playing in Nigeria, have others playing in Morocco, as probably we come to a Premier League that actually works for the continent and not one that is taken to Qatar, hopefully. But with that in mind, I'm hoping that this becomes one of the things that in the next 1 to 2 years, a lot of people who are in sports will be able to embrace. The one thing that I know for sure is the reason as to why African sports is not that popular on the continent is because a lot of people are not able to see it. And that means we need to be able to embrace technology to a level where it is easily accessible to everybody in the continent.